Morning พระอาจารย์
Good morning คุณซาร่าคุณจนทาน
ครับคุณ
สวัส
สุ
ดี
ภา
ค่ะ
พ
คุณสุภัสสร morning
Good morning คุณ Prakash and everyone
Thank you all. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning สวัสดี
Can you hear me?
สัจจามสวัสดีค่ะ
That's
all
right.
clear
สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับ
and everyone.
สวัสดีครับอาจารย์สวัสดีครับ
so I think we can start Prakash, do you have any more comments? Last week we were talking about samadhana and intention to abstain from akusala and taking precepts, and I think at the end we just started talking about wrong view and right view conditioning better sila by wearing away the idea of self. Do you have any comments on any of the points or anything you'd like to discuss further? I think we ran out of time at the end.
Yes. For me, when we discussed last time about the precepts, it is not about the undertaking. It is about how really applied in day-to-day life. That was a understanding. But how do we bring that into the real life experiences while we are talking now? The undertaking and the precept part. That part is not clarified for me.
So I think now, for example, if we discuss about killing and the danger of having harmful thoughts or intention towards taking the life of other living beings. So understanding why it's harmful and why it's not to be developed such tendencies can condition the wise reflection on the value of abstaining from harming or killing. But at the time when there is the opportunity, for example, if one's attacked by insects or something like this, then it depends on the chitta at the moment, whether there is virity, whether there is the abstaining when there is that opportunity. I mean, now there's no opportunity, but it depends on the wholesome virity, the wholesome abstaining, no matter what undertaking or what one's good intentions are. So it's actually daily life. And the point about understanding is actually no matter what the chitta is now, whether there are good intentions now or no good intentions, whether there's attachment now or understanding, these are all dhammas, they're all anatta. And the other day in one of the discussions, a friend was asking me, oh, but what about in daily life? Actually, this moment is daily life. We think of daily life about, oh, when we're in the office and there's a invasion of mice or insects or something, but actually daily life just consists of one chitta after another. We think of the situation as daily life, but it's actually the chitta now that is daily life. The chitta with ignorance now, the chitta with attachment now, the chitta with understanding now. This is daily life, and it's the same at any time in the office with the insects. What about the chitta then? Just like now. So the point of studying the teachings is to get closer and closer to the truth, the reality of daily life, not thinking, oh, well, this is my Dhamma practice and my taking of precepts, and then daily life is something different, another time or situation. the intentions now, wholesome or unwholesome, at this moment, if there's no understanding now of the difference between wholesome and unwholesome intentions, or between understanding dharmas as anatta or taking them for atta, then there won't be understanding at other times in daily life. So that's why we always come back to this moment, no matter the topic.
Mm.
And I could just add that there is no need to think of bringing our study knowledge into daily life, because when there is the comprehension at a conceptual level of the Buddha's teaching, it does have an effect in daily life, even though we may not be aware of it at first. It has an impact as long as we appreciate that what the Buddha is teaching is about the present moment of this life, and not about a theoretical construct. So as long as when there is that appreciation that what we are learning about the Buddha's teaching has relevance or refers to the present moment of one's daily life, then over time it will have an effect that can be appreciated, because one's perception of the present moment reality, the present of life, changes. And that is the development of understanding. As soon as we think of bringing in to daily life or applying our conceptual knowledge to daily life, there is the idea of doing something or having a practice of some kind. And that is not the path taught by the Buddha. So that is not the same as allowing the understanding, which is imperceptible at first, to work its way. And that's why it's always said that it requires patience and confidence that if the right conditions are there, then understanding develops accordingly, and not because we are trying to develop it. Thanks.
Okay. But at the present moment, there is very little understanding about the present moment.
That's
When I
right.
say,
Yeah, that's right.
Ajahn saying everything arises and passes away instantly. At this
But
point of time,
the
there is no
question is,
experience. Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but the question is there, you say there's very little understanding about the present moment. That is the same for all of us. But the question is there a little bit more understanding now than there was? And I don't mean moments of understanding that are visibly such, but has the understanding of the reality of the present moment undergone some change since one started to consider what is the true meaning of the words spoken by the Buddha? Or has it had no impact or effect whatsoever on one's appreciation of the reality of the present moment? So if there has been at least some progress, we'll call it, no matter how small that might be, then that is all that matters, because it means that there have been at some point the right conditions for that to develop, even though we may not have been aware of it at the time.
Okay. Okay. In that case, how one's develop the confidence that there is some progress comparatively previous and now?
Well, if you can say there has been some progress, then that is what gives the confidence. There's no need to think about developing the confidence, because if progress is apparent, then that's all that matters, isn't it?
Mm.
So has the perception of what is real at the present moment changed or developed? Has it undergone some change in the time that you've been considering what is the meaning of the Buddha's teaching, even though there may not have been any conscious effort to apply anything to the present moment?
Okay. Okay.
And isn't it all about me when it's, oh, have I made progress? Is there progress in my life?
Yeah.
At those moments of thinking like that, is there any understanding of what appears now? Is there any understanding of just hardness, touch, just seeing which sees, thinking, moments of thinking? Otherwise, just more moments of clinging and clinging with ditthi to I and what should I do and what about my progress and trying to check with how it was last year or this or that. That's the wrong path. So it's all about understanding at this moment, not clinging to I and what is happening to me and my progress. But it's very subtle, as Jonathan said, not about doing, but just understanding right now. Let's see if Jan would like to discuss any of these topics further.
At moment of saying how much of the progress is, what is there?
Whether there is a understanding is progressing or not.
Attachment to the progress is there, isn't it?
Yes. 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 Yes.
So no one can say how much one has progressed on and on. But the moment of speaking, talking, thinking about what is there now can be known. How much less ignorance of the truth of that very moment. See, that is the progress. Less and less ignorance is the progress.
Mm.
So, how much?
Yeah, we don't know.
This,
Yeah.
this is the moment to understand the precious, the great precious understanding of the Buddha. Who knows? How can what is that right then at moment of speaking? How much progress is there? Can be eradicated because it's not understanding of the truth of that moment at all, is it? So the most precious is understanding how much ignorance that has to be gradually wearing away until it's ultimately eradicated. As Buddha taught, the path leading to have less and less ignorance and attachment and all kinds of akusala. So at moment of what is now appearing, it's time to understand it as it is, not anyone. Different degrees of irritation and anger. See, it's there by conditions to be known that it's conditioned. If it's not conditioned, how come to the moment of having such level of any kinds of reality? Is this much better than thinking about how much progress is there right now? Progress
Yeah.
of what? Of ignorance or understanding. To be true to the truth, this is very important. This is the only way to understand the path, the very subtle path, which can eradicate the subtle akusala, unwholesomeness like anusia, the seed of akusala is implanted any moment, on and on and on. So the moment of right understanding has to be implanted to really understand what is there right now. But when it's not time yet to realize the nature of that, which sees only that which appear to be a moment of understanding, nothing is there, see? That's why learn to understand that just everyday life, what is there, does not appear as it is. Seeing, see, not as it is. That which is seen is not as it is. That's why we learn to understand how deep and how subtle this moment is. That cannot be known at all if there's no hearing again and again and again about the truth, the ultimate truth, that now does not appear as it is. See, learning to understand, to have the three gems, the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha, as refuge for life to go on, say from akusala moment, gradually, so very little at a time. That is parami, understanding the truth. And it conditioned virya, courageous, and patience so great. It doesn't matter as long as one thinks that I'm doing something to understand this moment. It cannot lead to any understanding at all, because no understanding of the truth of each reality, which now is different, just arise and falls away in split seconds. That is the ultimate truth. But when they are together, like what is seen appear as curtain or bed or pillow, that is not true. Is that right? It's just thinking about something from the image or the mark or the sign of that to be taken for something permanent. That's why ignorance living in the world of atta from life to life, but right understanding begin to understand no atta, because it is conditioned to arise and gone instantly, never to rise again in samsara. So life goes on as easy as usual, not trying to change it, because what is that? Ignorance. How can there be anyone who try to do something to rise again in samsara? So life goes on as easy as usual, not trying to change it, because what is that? Ignorance. How can there be anyone who tries? Is it true again to be such a barami? No one can do anything. Only right understanding is conditioned from hearing, considering very carefully, wisely, to understand that how what is there right now is dukkha. See, the first Ariya Satya, how life now, how this moment is dukkha, it's not there anymore. So what's the use of just arise and falls away? Nothing, and then something, and then nothing again. What's the use? Wasting time. just live without any understanding of the truth. So now it's time to listen carefully, to understand what is there gradually, little by little, that it's real, it's a Dhamma, it has its characteristic, and it's gone, never to arise again. Beginning to develop the understanding of anatta a little more. So at any moment of attachment or aversion, there can be condition to understand it. It's just there by condition, not me or anyone at all. Until the seed of ignorance and all kinds of akusala has been eradicated. Is that what we are talking about, the goal of talking about this moment? Such a long way. That is the way to let go attachment and ignorance, because it's a long way with understanding deeper and deeper. Not just a long way without any understanding of this moment. And this moment is so short, so this moment by conditions. A little more firm confidence. Not anyone try to do anything. It's already there. Is this the teachings of the Buddha?
Yes. Yes, Ajahn.
So we listen more to his words, beginning to understand the subtlety of each reality that is so deep. More or less courageous by condition to understand what is there right now. All are dhammas.
Mm.
And the understanding leads to less thinking about me, my practice, my progress, my undertakings, because at moments of understanding, no thought of me or progress or practice or undertaking. So the point is the development of understanding, the development of the path. No one there, no one undertaking anything, no one progressing, just different dhammas arising by conditions and gone, less clinging to whether it's kusala or akusala, to whether it's a sign of progress or not a sign of progress, because all these ideas of practice and progress and so on, they all hinder from the development of the path right now.
So it means there is nothing to do.
Nothing to do.
Yeah, just
Let understanding develop naturally through wise consideration, reflecting on what has been heard from the Buddha, what has been read, what has been considered, what has been discussed. Understanding will work its way naturally, but the doing, the clinging to progress, the ideas of practicing all hinder. So it happens too, but at those moments of thinking about my progress and my practice and what I should do, understanding can understand that it's not the right way, not the right path.
I think we all crave to have moments of consciousness that are identifiably awareness and understanding of a present moment reality. So everything we do in terms of the Dhamma is to try to bring that about, but that's only going to lead one to different kinds of practice in order to have this visibly, this moment of visibly awareness and understanding. That will never happen. Instead, if we come to appreciate that it's the absorbing the meaning of the Buddha's teaching that has an imperceptible but cumulative effect on one's perception of the world, then, as I say, it requires patience and it requires confidence. But once one can appreciate that there has been a change in that perception, then that's the confidence that's needed to continue in that way. Because although it might be very slow compared to what we have previously been led to expect, but still it is genuine development of understanding occurring naturally and not being brought about by our exercise of will.
Oh, what about we all coming together and discussing Dhamma or reading Dhamma book? That is also try to do something, isn't it?
Not necessarily. Do we come here expecting to have moments of awareness and understanding? Or do we come here because we appreciate that this is how there comes to be a better understanding of the meaning of the Buddha's words? It's all about, as he said in the sutta, it's all about hearing the true Dhamma, and that being a condition for reflection, that is to say, what we might call subconscious reflection, although there's no such thing, of course, but that's a conventional term to refer to reflection that occurs even without any intention on our part to be reflecting on Dhamma. Undirected consideration. And that can condition moments of awareness and understanding, which are imperceptible, may not be apparent to us, but as I say, over a period of time, we come to realize that there has been a change in that perception.
I appreciate, Prakash, your questions about Dhamma, because they help us all to appreciate the subtlety and the nature of Dhamma as it is, not how we would like it to be, or not how we are seen to be progressing. Dhamma has a quality that does not, as has been alluded to this morning in various ways, that has any nature of controllability to it. And that, of course, implies the nature of, a practice or a specific thing that we have to do. And the more that, the more that is understood, our understanding can grow in the path. But it is delicate. and it is very subtle. So this is where, of course, nature of patience comes in, which is linked to the aspect of wirya, to courage. So it's a time thing, but I do think, and I really appreciate your questions because they reflect to me somebody who wants to appreciate Dhamma and follow it correctly. And that is something that I feel that we all strive for in different ways, but it's not, results don't come and they're not even apparent, as Jonathan has just said. It just takes a commitment to truth. And of course, excuse me, I really appreciate Tanajan's aspect of, being truthful to the truth as it appears, not how we would like it to be or how it should be. Yeah. So, thank you for asking your questions, Prakash. I really appreciate them. Thank you.
Yeah. I think if others have any question, please proceed. Rather, I take over complete discussion.
Well, I don't have any problem with you tasting the questions, but if there are others there, certainly. But I think your questions are very, very, very relevant, and they help us all. So thank you.
I'd like to make a comment. And I've often heard Ajahn say that it's arisen already. And that I find really difficult to comprehend. Not intellectually, I know, but just in the day, whatever happens, it's risen already. And when you look at the way the jittas and jetasikas work, I can see how that happens. But there's such a reaction to whatever arises. And you think, I've got to do something about this. But that's pointless exercise. So when it's risen already, what to do? Just be aware of it, I guess. But it's always a difficult one for me to take in. So if anyone's got anything to add to it, please go ahead.
The risen and fallen away already, like the lobha. One doesn't want the lobha, but it's already arisen and it's already gone long before one has time to have some undertaking or think about one's practice or what to do. It's gone, it's arisen and it's gone. And it's a Dhamma, it's anatta. I think that's the point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the point is to just understand that Dhammas are conditioned and anatta, arisen and gone now. What we don't want is already arisen and gone.
But
like
I feel a bit like Prakash. Sometimes it's like, I've got to do something about this.
So even that thinking at that moment, it's arisen. Okay, it's there. It's thinking about doing. So even then there can be understanding because it's how it is.
Okay.
Or Jan mentioned like irritation, like one's listening, there may be irritation or an idea of doing. It's arisen. It's Dhamma and gone. Anything can arise by conditions anytime, unexpectedly, no matter akusala or kusala.
Yeah. What was that?
Is that you, Anne? Was that your microphone?
Yes, it was. I unmuted. So I've thought about this too, Azita, and realized by the time we think we have any inkling that whatever it is arisen, long gone. When you think of the jittas and the by the time we've got any idea of it, without understanding, without deep understanding and direct understanding, we don't, any thought about it is well past the nimitta. So it's hard to think of it that way. There's just so much we're completely unaware of. We have some intellectual knowledge, but you know, and you're not going to ever catch it, because that's not what happens if it's true understanding. If it doesn't, you can't catch it. But if there's real understanding, direct understanding, I shouldn't say real, if there's direct understanding, that will appear. I've thought about this too, exactly what you were talking about.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Anne. Yeah.
No, I agree, and it just passes away. There's no possibility to catch what something is arisen and passed away. Yeah, then only left is the something arised and passed away. That is only the understanding is left, isn't it?
Well, understanding can catch realities. That's the point.
What do you mean by that? Understanding can catch reality.
I think you made a comment that it may have misheard you. I thought you said referred to catching realities there, implying that it's not possible for us to catch a reality because it's fallen away before we know it's there. But understanding can experience realities before or at the time of their falling away. So if there's understanding, there's no need to think about catching realities, because that's the function of panya. And
I guess that's the other.
Sorry, Anne, didn't catch you.
Anything.
Yeah.
I think that when I think about catching reality, I think about, trying to, oops, or look. But I think it's the arising of understanding.
Yes.
I suppose understanding catches, but I think not using the word. I'm the one who said catch first.
Right. No, I'm just using that terminology, but explaining that only understanding can know realities, because understanding arises at that time, and that's its function. But it only arises by conditions, not because of our wish that there should be understanding of anything.
We can say, Prakash, that the understanding arises in spite of all those moments of wrong understanding or ideas of catching or trying to be aware or thinking of progress or practice and so on. But in between, understanding can arise and develop, not because of those thoughts of making an intention and trying, but in spite of those moments of trying and wishing.
Yeah.
And of course, when the understanding, it's, sorry, Alberto, you're trying to speak, but you haven't turned your microphone on. I'll just make one comment. Where if the understanding is very weak, then it's not apparent, not perceptible. It's occurring without being apparent to the individual. But it has, if it occurs sufficiently often or number of times, then it has a cumulative effect, and there can be a known change. Yeah, thanks. Did you want to speak, Alberto?
Just wanted to ask Prakash about doing nothing to do, and I have a question about if listening is doing, if listening, if considering, do you think that it is doing or it is not doing? Like listening to the Dhamma and considering the Dhamma, do you think it belongs to the doing things or not doing anything?
Yeah, it's also kind of doing. That's a first thought comes to me. Example, getting up, okay, morning and logging in, okay, let me listen, let me discuss, let me understand it a little more, let me participate in the discussion. Oh, this can help to understand it a little more Dhamma. It's also kind of doing at this point of time.
But that's before listening. That's before considering. Like when maybe thinking about joining the Zoom discussion, and that's before the actual listening and the actual considering. But at the moment of listening, um, is it doing? Okay, it is doing when you arrange for the computer connection or whatever. But at the moment of actually listening to Ajahn and so on, do you think it is doing something?
Yeah, at the moment of listening, okay, am I understanding what all of us are saying, all of us are sharing? Or is there right understanding of this? Am I really getting this? I think that's also keep going on and
Yeah.
on and on. Yeah.
Yes, and I think everyone starts with that kind of idea and thinking. But what you will hear here is that that is not the way. And so, although there may be a doing involved in the first association with hearing the Buddha's teaching, the more one hears that the true meaning of his teaching, the more one appreciates that it's not about doing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think
That
your
understanding
experience
is
is coming.
developing. That understanding is developing. I think so.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
just the understanding at this level that it's not actually doesn't have to be about doing anything is a beginning of being on the right path. Yeah.
And in truth, we think of logging on the computer or arranging what has to be done and going here and going there. So conventionally, we think about doing, but in truth, no one to do anything. What we think of as logging on or arranging the computer are just different dhammas, different namas, different rupas, each one conditioned to arise for an instant only, moments of thinking, rupas conditioned by those intentions, different dhammas arising and falling away. This is why we talk about this moment, to understand that right now there cannot be any doing because no one there, just moments of seeing, moments of hearing, moments of thinking about computers, thinking about the discussion, but just different dhammas in truth. So there cannot be any doing. So the point is to understand the truth now, because this is daily life, just the same as when turning on the computer or joining the Zoom, just different dhammas arising and falling away by conditions. It's not that, oh, when logging on, there is doing, and then when there's considering, no doing. At any moment, in truth, just dhammas arising by conditions, not in anyone's control. Nothing to be done, nothing done at all, no self to do anything. So it's not a matter of changing the lifestyle, but understanding the truth at the very present moment.
The question would
Even
be,
when thinking of going to have one's meditation practice, actually no doing, still just moments of thinking, rightly or wrongly, often wrongly, moments of seeing, moments of hearing, different rupas conditioned by different chitas and temperature and so on. Just dhammas all throughout life at any moment. Nothing that can be done by any self, because there is no self.
Yes. But Sarah was saying, there is another question that can be asked if, and it is, can there be doing without a doer, or it's like, can you can there be no one doing something, or can there be, can Dhamma do anything?
Well, I think there's a verse there that says there is doing but no doer, going but no one who goes. So that would seem to answer your question.
So there is
I
doing
have
that.
another comment. I, me, and mine is doing stuff all day long. And it just seems like it's so much I, me, and mine daily. So it's a very deep, long path.
And it's all a fantasy. It's a fantasy that it's just I doing this and that all day long, because there's thinking, but no one that thinks. There's seeing, but no one that sees. There's touching the hardness, but no one that touches. But in truth, no one going here or there or going to the meditation center, just different dharmas arising and falling away by conditions.
And
so we live in a fantasy world.
We do, and it's been accumulated for eons, as we're often reminded. So it's not going to be got rid of in a hurry. It's probably going to take eons.
No, and I rather feel we shouldn't think of trying to get rid of it, or that it's going to go, because as long as there is understanding of the true nature of those moments, that's the development of the path. And there can be I, me, and mine until final enlightenment. But it's going to be there's the understanding of it as just one kind of reality.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. That's a good reminder.
Right. It's the miccha ditthi. It's that we think we take as the I, me, and mine. Yeah. But
I think it's a bit like thinking that, as many do, but not people here because we've discussed this so often, but having less agusala in one's life. That is the idea most people have about Buddhism. Being calmer, being less reactive to the situation, less reactive to sensed or experiences, all that sort of thing. Of course, there is that kind of development over time, but it's not that brings understanding. It's understanding that brings that outcome. And so again, it comes back to the understanding of the reality of the present moment.
And that reminds me, I think at the end of the discussion last week, I think at the very end, when we were discussing about sila, and I think it was Alberto who made a comment about right understanding, conditioning, more kusala sila, and Ajahn stressed more understanding leads to wearing away of self, because often, like Jonathan just said, we think of having better sila, being good, but the main thing is the wearing away of the idea of self, the idea of I doing anything, I having better sila, I doing what is good, I undertaking this or that, but the wearing away of the idea of self is what the teachings are really about. And that is what brings the effect and the development of kusala, but the letting go of the wrong ideas now.
And we should also bear in mind that it's the wearing away of the wrong view of self that is being referred to, not the idea, not the concept of I, because I can be just a label like any other label. It's the wrong view of self that is being worn away by the development of understanding. So the thinking in terms of I, me, and mine may not really change all that much, but the wrong view of self is being worn away.
Oh, they're great comments, both from you, John, and Sarah. Thank you. Excellent.
Let's see if Ajahn would like to add any more comments to any of these topics too.
Is there undertaking now?
No, Ajahn, no.
Why not? Not the word, but the understanding of the truth of each word clearer, deeper. It's not moment of saying I'm abstain, will abstain or undertake this and that, but it's now any undertaking. Right now. It's not the word. But what is the reality of undertaking? At moment of hearing, considering, to understanding the truth, to let go ignorance, attachment, wearing away, the clinging to what is there. Is it now undertaking by way of hearing and considering?
Yeah.
That's why not the word, but the truth. Even sila. Otherwise, how can there be the understanding of the term kusala sila, akusala sila, and abhayagata sila? The way citta and cetasikas behave. Undertaking are not study. Undertaking I hear and consider more and more to understand the truth, which is sila. Which one is sila?
Yeah, rather undertaking just be with the present reality.
Both are sila, right?
Mm.
No matter kusla or akusla. No one there at all. So each word represents a reality. What is there as undertaking?
Ajahn, could undertaking also mean wirya?
Akusla.
Wirya?
We don't specify each reality yet.
Right.
We
Okay.
just talk about general, because you see that nothing can arise alone by itself.
Correct.
But at moment of thinking about undertaking by way of sila, the people think, in truth, what moment is undertaking? By way of abhidhamma, no one saying, thinking, speaking out, but any moment of kusala, see, or akusala, the will, that very moment, to do anything like now, undertaking, hearing, considering, understanding the truth little by little, that even the truth is now there, but no understanding of the truth of what is there at all. And this understanding is the moment of undertaking, more and more careful considering. Is that right? Each word has very deep meaning. Otherwise, one just think about undertaking such and such task or idea. But in truth, it's the moment of undertaking, the the studying, the considering, or just let go. No understanding at all, no considering at all. That is also undertaking by akusala. So it is akusala sila. The truth is the truth. It cannot be changed at all. But there are many aspects, many manners, different manners of the way it arises through life, to the whole life. Little by little, understanding so much to learn to understand the truth of just one reality or one word, like anatta. See, no matter what, all come to the nature of anatta, no one. And what is dukkha? Only that which arises. If nothing arises, how can there be dukkha? Is this kind of understanding, hearing more, consider more, is undertaking?
Would undertaking also be something like not speaking when somebody else says something nasty to me? And
Not
instead of
thinking, is
answering
it
that,
possible? Is it possible not to think?
oh, it's not possible to not think, but it's possible to not say anything rather
All
than
depends
telling.
on conditions. See,
Exactly. Yes, Ajahn.
no matter what arises, is there by conditions not to speak or not or speak by conditions. Learn to understand conditions, the conditioned reality in life, to gradually wearing away little by little, so very little, unknown, like touching or holding the knife's handle. See, when the moment of proper condition to arise to understand the truth of what is there, no expectation, unexpectedly. Because all Adamas, even right now, all Adamas, but the Dhamma does not appear as Dhamma because of no understanding of the truth. So it's now hearing again and again and again. Is it undertaking? Sila. That's why there can be the beginning of understanding the word and go on understanding the characteristic of reality and understand the depth, the subtlety of the reality that Buddha taught about undertaking, see? Not just abstain from such and such. But even right now, is it undertaking to develop understanding, to listen carefully, to let go the careful considering?
Yes, it is.
So we learn about seeing, see? It's that which arises to see, and there are conditions for its arising. And when we talk about seeing in general, we don't talk about just that particular one now. See, that's why we talk about the condition for seeing. It needs the eye base and that which impinges on it. But anytime, but when we talk about ayatana, just at that very moment, only one moment. What is there? See? So begin to understand why there is khanda and why there is ayatana and paticca and so on. Just about what is there in daily life, each moment, not known before at all, until hearing about the truth and undertaking, studying, considering, careful, until sila is there, see? From understanding what sila is. That's why learn to understand the subtlety of reality that Buddha had realized. How long time accumulating kusala and right understanding, the perfections, until it's ready to consider, to condition such moment by conditions, anatta. That's why all dhammas are anatta. So not the question whether what shall I do, or I will take it, or I bring it home to do, or in life and so on at all. That is thinking with ignorance. So the world of ignorance, how long time, how enormous it is each moment. And it takes quite a long time to understand the ultimate truth right now. Seeing, only seeing appears, so it can be known moment of what arises and what falls away. Before seeing or after seeing. This is the Ariya Satya Dhamma. So very subtle. So now what appears so very subtle? So it cannot be known at all without hearing again and again and again. Samadhana or undertaking, right?
Right, Ajahn. So it's
From the beginning to the end.
it's
Yes.
the slowly developing panya that is the doing. Like if there's coming to listen to the Dhamma or opening a Dhamma book, not feeling I have to, but because it's there and it's useful. So it's useful to know. It's useful to know more and more. So I'm guessing that's a degree of understanding.
Level to level, stage by stage, little by little.
Little by little, yes, Ajahn, certainly.
Mm-hmm. It's so great that it can bring joy no matter when, no matter where, no matter object. The truth is the truth, that it can be realized.
Yes.
But not now.
No, not now.
Until there is a little more understanding of the truth.
I think a lot more understanding, actually. But little by little.
Right. The one who sees Dhamma, the one who sees me, the word of the Buddha.
Yes. Yeah.
The best of all in life, understanding the truth.
Yes. Yes, I agree. And I also like the comments that the best gift is Dhammadana, giving the gift of the Dhamma to somebody.
When one sees the precious of Dhamma, of understanding Dhamma. But when there's no understanding of the precious of understanding the truth, one thinks that other things is more precious. The wealth, the fame, and so on.
Yes.
But what is wealth and what is fame? Nothing, just arise and falls away.
I think it's the world today is a good example of what a lot of people are chasing. But that's conceptual as well, but that's how I think of the world at this present moment. And sometimes I feel bothered by the fact that the Buddha's teachings will slowly disappear. A lot of people just don't want to hear.
When there's no understanding of the truth, it cannot appear because no condition or understanding anymore.
Yes.
And this is undertaking, isn't it?
Yes, and I think the Pali word is samvega. Is it like the urgency?
Samadhana.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Right.
And it's always a moment, like even we agree, oh, it's useful to join the discussion or open the book. But open the book, different moments, different chitas, kusala sila, akusala sila, moments of attachment, moments of wise considering. So it's always whatever we talk about, even joining the discussion, turning on the Zoom, kusala sila, akusala sila, kusala samadhana, akusala samadhana. So it's always back to dhammas for a moment. Otherwise, again, we've just lost in the idea of a conventional situation. When we open the books, it's kusala undertaking. When we join the discussions, it's kusala. But when we go to have fun, it's akusala. But what about the moment? Always back to the moment,
Well,
one at a time.
I was thinking of, when you open, get the book out, big, heavy, Anguttara and the Gaya, open
Betty's
the
got
book,
her hand up.
but the pages stick together and you can't open it. So what was supposedly kusala becomes irritation.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah.
Kusala and akusala, yes.
I'll let Betty have a word.
Yes, go ahead, Betty.
Okay, thank you so much. I have to say this discussion has been so wonderful for me because of an incident that happened yesterday. My son was here and the family was here. We're celebrating my daughter's birthday. And my son was saying, why don't we eat in the new house that's already been renovated, that I already moved into? And I said, because my daughter already understood that my grandson, who is severely autistic, cannot play in the new house because he plays with glue, attaching pictures to paper and so on. Okay, that's what he usually does. And he sits quietly and he does that. But I can't have him doing it on the new furniture. So he got angry at me. He said, so what? It's only a table. Let him do it. And I started to cry. And I realized at that moment how attached I was to the idea of finally having a new house that was nice and new and clean and not destroyed by this one or destroyed by that one or destroyed by the maids or destroyed by anyone. And the realization was so strong. And there was a moment of understanding of the extent of the attachment that grew over the course of, let's say, 50 years of having, finally a decent house that somebody's not destroying, either my husband or with something he's doing, or Mark's the furniture with this and that and the other thing. And so I have to say this discussion has been very, very wonderful for me. And I tried to explain this to my son and my daughter at other times. My son yesterday, who is a monk, as you know, is that he says, "What's this idea about waiting for conditions? You need to do meditation. It's the same old thing." And sorry, my dog is here with me, and he's crying. Hold on. Anyway. So I was trying to explain to him, well, this is why. Look how long it took for the Buddha to become enlightened from the time that in some previous life he made the decision to become a Buddha. Look how long it takes. There's an element of patience here that's needed because everything works on conditions. Realities arise by conditions. What we take for doing things or saying things or anything that happens in daily life is because of realities rising and falling away and doing their job. And he says, "Mom, this is not daily life. That's theory." I said, "Oh yeah." Oh my. But in any case, I have to thank everybody for bringing up this discussion because it's been really helpful for me to find more ways of talking to my son and perhaps my daughter to help them to understand the nature of the reality of everyday life and what it really is and what is really happening at every moment. They just have another view that I cannot seem to impart to them. I wish they would listen to our discussions because it would be such a great help to them. But they think that they know already what is best to be done. This doesn't say they lack understanding in other ways, but they do. They're very, very thoughtful and very good people. But they do not have the conditions to understand the true nature of the Buddhist teachings.
Betty, I'd like to just make a little comment. I think it's really difficult to impart the Buddha's words to others who have strong ideas.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm kind of in the same position as you.
Yes.
I won't elaborate, but it's very hard. So
very hard, and especially to somebody who's very close to you. It's harder to impart the knowledge, the understanding, to impart the teachings to somebody who is extremely close to you rather than somebody who is more distant from yourself.
And what is the problem now? Is it their wrong view or one's own clinging, one's own strong attachment, which minds so much? If one's talking to someone else and they have no interest, okay, that's just how it is. But when there's strong clinging, strong attachment, one minds so much and it brings about the tears when it's not the way one would like it to be.
That's exactly.
So it all comes back to the clinging now. And with the furniture and the tears and so on, it's all gone. It's all gone. One keeps dwelling on the story, but it's all gone. It's daily life. And it's all about now. Yeah.
And we're constantly reminding ourselves of that, not ourselves, but constantly reminding of that is so helpful and important, because
otherwise just dwelling on the story and going over it and who said what and this and why this was right and that was wrong, but it's all just clinging to the story about all those dhammas that have long arisen and fallen away. So it's always back to now. The seeing now, the clinging now.
Good reminder, Sarah. Thank you.
Just a little afterthought. We did have indeed a very nice very lovely celebration for my daughter's birthday anyway, because they came a bit later, and so it was absolutely wonderful indeed. Lots of lopa for my daughter.
All the worldly conditions, the joy, the tears, and clinging, because of clinging and not enough understanding of the truth. So that we're swayed when it all goes the way we'd like, and everyone speaks kindly and we have fun, and then the tears when there are upsets and it doesn't go the way we want.
Right.
But we're forgetting always about just this moment,
Exactly.
letting go of what's gone.
Letting go.
Thanks, Betty.
Thank you. Thanks so much, everyone.
Let's see if Ajahn would like to add any more comments too, as we're beginning to run out of time. Ajahn?
Yes, I think that anyone who is not ready to listen to the truth, they are not interested in listening at all, no matter what we say. For me, if anyone say anything about the teachings, about this and that, practicing and so on, the word I'd like to say, or what did Buddha say about this? That's all. For anyone to study, to share the idea or the understanding, what did Buddha say about practicing? Did he say anything about practicing? Does it concern with the Four Noble Truth? And what the truth is practicing? What truth? The first, the second, the third, or what? And what is meant by practicing? The first round of the teachings is about what is there now, that it arises and falls away, but it does not appear as it is. So only Panya begins to understand the truth of the seeing and that which is seen, what is there as it is, as different realities. So it cannot be anyone at all. For example, the reality which is conditioned to arise and experience the object, and as soon as it has experienced, it's gone. Is that true? And is that the teaching of the Buddha? And does the practice realize the truth of this moment? Or just doing something, nothing to do, nothing to be conditioned to understand this moment at all? Is that the teachings of the Buddha? Is that what Buddha say? We don't talk about anyone's idea or understanding, but what did Buddha say? It's so deep, isn't right? So shall we talk it? So shall we talk about it little by little? That is so very deep, because now, before seeing, there's no seeing, and then there's seeing, then no seeing. What's the use? Or from nothing to be something and nothing again. Never arise at all in samsara. Is this the teaching of the Buddha? Can it be realized? Can it be understood? Not just only seeing, but any reality in life. If it's not studied, if it's not known, if it's not the development of understanding of its nature, how can it be realized? So what is meant by practicing? What Pali term for it is bhavana. Or what is it? When it's bhavana, what does it mean? The development of understanding, little by little. So we just talk about the words of the Buddha for them or anyone to hear, to consider whether it's true or not, whether it's the Buddha's word or not, whether he knows the great wisdom of the Buddha or not. That's all. Just talk about Buddha and the teachings of the Buddha. Is that the only way?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
What about the 3 rounds of the Arya Satya? See,
Yes.
is that the word of the Buddha or anyone's words? when pariyatti is not keen and clear enough, how can there be the moment of right understanding with awareness, direct awareness of what is there now that hasn't been aware of at all? So the difference between moment of awareness and moment of without awareness is different.
Yes.
I think that's the only way to have people to think, to consider about the words of the Buddha. Did he say that?
Yes. No, I see.
Anytime we can say, what did Buddha say? The Nama and the Rupa, and what moment of Nama, what kind of Nama, thinking to go somewhere, to do something, and there's no understanding of this moment. If there's no understanding of this moment, how can there be the understanding of other moment? How come? Without hearing, considering what is there as it is, to begin to be truthful of the truth. What is there? Seeing. But what is seeing? It sees. So it is it, not anyone, not a cat, a dog, human being, or deva. Without such basic idea of understanding the truth, how can there be the development of understanding any time? Because of the way Dhamma is anatta, or by conditions what arises. So is that the teachings of the Buddha? Is that the Buddha's word? And if there's no understanding, how can there be the understanding? What did he say?
Nothing.
Listening to the truth of what is there by the very wise word to be conditioned, to be studied, to be careful, considered. Nama, the reality, which sees, which life, which experience the object, is it in everyday life or not? Or how can we find it if it's not in daily life? Where to find it? The word of the Buddha is so true for any moment, any kind of people to hear. This moment, see, what is it? What did Buddha say?
Achan, for me, I have found the study of the Abhidhamma most helpful because, and that just includes the very first part of it, is the jittas and the jita seekers that arise and fall all the time. And when there's jita seekers, and they're different each time when the jita arises, falls. I think having studied that and tried to take some of those lists into memory, there's no self to be found anywhere. And for me, that gives a really good example of the anatta, intellectually. So I found the study of the Abhidhamma itself has been most helpful. And I think I was encouraged from the very first time I heard Dhammadharo in Wat Pleng, many, not hundreds of years, but 50 or more years ago, talking about Nama and Rupa. And I very much appreciate that talk way back then. And it's what started to get my interest, and still interested. So yes, so thank you very much, Ajahn, for everything you've done as well. Thank you.
Is it enough?
Oh, there's a lot more. A lot more.
Because it's just in memory.
Yes, Ajahn, sure.
And then it can be forgotten.
Yes.
There's no condition because it's not moment of beginning to study little by little of what has been heard about Nama or Chitta or Cetasika. It's just the beginning of the truth to be followed more and more by studying that which is there. For example, when we talk about Chitta, it's right now. But listening to the words of Chitta Abhidhamma, how many are there? It's not the study that Chitta which is there right now. So right understand the difference between just learning about the truth of the reality which is right then, but not yet that level of understanding what we have learned right then of any reality yet. But it is the foundation to develop understanding with very careful considering. Otherwise, one just recite the term about citta, vitaka, and so on. But what is it now? So we learn to understand the truth which is there by conditions. For example, seeing is different from attachment.
Yes.
It's different from the moment the asava, attasava is there. I see. But just hearing about the term, beginning to have new idea about the truth, that it cannot be I. But how can it not be I when its nature does not appear to be known? Just remember, it's not I. But it's not I, it's just thinking and memory about it. But now the reality which experiences, only that, the reality which experiences is the characteristic of what we say as a chief. No word, no need to say citta, but it experiences what is there. That's why in the day, be true to the truth. That's why there must be such a barani. The beginning of being true to the truth. What level of understanding? It's easy to say. Citta sees. It experiences that which is seen. Only that, just keep on talking about that. But what is the moment of beginning to not forget that the seeing does not appear to be known in a day? What appears is that which is seen, heard, and so on. But the seeing, the hearing, the smelling, the thinking does not appear. No attention yet to that. That's why understanding the different levels of pariyatti and patipatti and pativeda is the only way to understand the truth and be true to the truth. Satya Bharami. It's not easy. It has to be so very careful considering, about understanding what is there. Even right now, see, it's there. See, no moment of attending to the characteristic which experiences until that which experienced is not there to be known, because it's moment of understanding the reality which experiences the object. See, different level of understanding, even they are Arya Satya. That's why now it's undertaking. See,
Yes,
more than just the word, more than just the word, and beginning to understand a little more of what it's meant by reality, even undertaking moment. Little by little, it develops unknowingly from life to life, from moment to moment, unknown. No expectation what would be the object of realization at all, beyond expectation. But without understanding, little by little, on and on and on, when it's there right now, it cannot be known. But when it's there now, it realizes the truth. The same object, seeing or thinking or liking, whatever is there in life. So learn to understand, not just to remember only about how many Cetasikas arises with seeing, so on, but each one is a reality, depending on how much careful considering to understand the very subtle difference between Cetasikas, like Chanda and Satta, and Sati and Vitaka, Vichara, and so on. Learn a little bit more. So when it becomes the object, who knows? There can be right understanding, fully understanding. No doubt about it. Little by little. Undertaking what? See? Understanding the truth. Until it is adisila, see, different from just now. That's why each word should be understood. Oh, it's time now.
Thank you so much. ขอบคุณมากค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Sawadika, and
Thank you very
wish
much,
you a
Ajahn.
very good trip to Sri Lanka, Ajahn.
Thank you.
From just now.
Thank you. Very trying, everyone.